Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Zoom. I'm here with a group of people that we're so excited to have on our Zoom tonight. And the purpose of this Zoom is so that we can really learn about moms, how they take care of their babies when they're sick, some of the things that we can do with the technology that we have that is so simple, and you can have access to it. If you would like to know more information after you listen to this, just go to the person that sent you to this Zoom meeting. So I would like to introduce Shauna Skendlove and her cute little baby, Channing. So let me get them up here so that you can see them. Okay, there we go. So here is Shauna and Channing. As long as he's making noise, then they'll be showing up on the screen. Shauna is the mom of 5 beautiful kids, and this happens to be her 5th little baby. She has been married for 12 years to her husband, Nick. He is a dentist. They have moved 14 times in the 12 years that they have been married. So she is masterful at moving. She knows how to throw things away and what things are important to keep. So that's one of her talents, I would say. The other is managing her 5 beautiful children. And she just happened to have the last 3 weeks, this baby was so very sick. And I just asked her if she would share a little bit about what she did, how the process was, and how she worked through that, because the redox signaling molecules were a key part in being able to get this baby out of the hospital. So Shauna, will you just tell them a little bit about you and how this all came to pass?
Sure. So like my mom said, I have 5 kids. This little guy is my youngest. He's 7 months old, very active, he's a mover and a climber and is going to be walking soon. And he's just I guess he's 8 months now, 8 months today. So a few weeks ago, he started getting this cough, and it wasn't a big deal. And then, okay, we're going to let him go play. Can you go play with you? Oh, okay. So he developed this cough. It didn't seem like a big deal, but it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And then he started coughing so hard that his little body would like convulse and just kind of curl up and get really, really stiff and rigid. And he would cough so hard that he would throw up and poop at the same time. Just kind of his body was just like squeezing everything out of him. And he was doing this quite frequently, but then he would be just fine in between these bouts of coughing. It was worse at night, so it got scary at night because he would stop breathing. His face would turn purple. He wouldn't be able to cough. It was just really, really scary. So we had been taking him to the doctor. The doctor did like a soft diagnosis. He didn't test him for this particular thing, but said, all the symptoms are lining up. I think this baby has such and such. And this one thing by itself, especially in babies, can be very scary. Most of the time, if they're under 1 year old, they end up in the hospital getting breathing treatments, getting suctioned, getting
steroids,
oxygen. Yeah. And so, we came home and started using the ASEA. I'll tell you about the ASEA part in just a minute. So he also was prescribed an antibiotic, and we did his antibiotic, and he started to start feeling better a little bit. And then after a couple of days, he just really went downhill again. And I had been in communication with my doctor, been taking him in, and he wanted to see him again when he started getting bad. And they did a test for something else, and he was positive for this other thing. So the first thing by itself was really scary for a baby his age. The second thing by itself ended up being something that could be really scary for a baby his age. And there's not a lot that they medically could do for this second thing. Besides, I had a standing prescription to go to the hospital at any time to get supportive treatment. And this poor little baby had both of these things at the same time. So we were doing everything medically that we could. We followed the doctor's orders, but I always feel like I want to do more. And ASEA was one of those things that I implemented that I know made a big difference. So I first started, the spray bottle fell on the floor. Do you want to grab it for me?
Yeah, sure.
I first started just using the spray bottle. Oh, look, if I turn this way, you guys can see me better. So I first started using the spray bottle and just spraying it in his mouth and up his nose and in his face and, all over him as often as I could. I kept it with me. We were spraying it in his mouth, spraying it in his nose, trying to help him breathe better. So that is one way that we use the ASEA. I had a nebulizer that I put the ASEA in and did breathing treatments with the ASEA. Yeah, my mom actually has the nebulizer now.
Yeah, I needed it, so now that's what we use.
While I was nursing the baby, I would hook up the nebulizer and have the nebulizer going while he was nursing so that I knew he was breathing the ASEA in and getting it in his body and in his system that way. And I really felt like that was really helpful with his airways and loosening the mucus and helping that aspect of it. When he started getting really sick and spraying it in his mouth, it just wasn't enough. So we would pour it into this little cup, that comes with the ASEA, and suck it up with one of these and squirt it in his mouth. And he, depending on, the time, depending on the day, we would do like 2 or 3 of these medicine droppers. I think there's like 10 milliliters. So I was just getting as much ASEA in him as I could. Another thing that I was doing with him was the Renew 28. I was rubbing it on his neck, on his glands, down his chest, massaging his tummy with it. I was rubbing it down the back on his spine, and I was rubbing it on his feet and in his armpits, getting those redox molecules into his system any way that I could. And I know that this, the Renew 28, when it's used on the skin, it increases circulation, it increases blood flow, and I know that that is a key part of healing. And so that's why I did the Renew 28. When he was really, really sick, he would be really lethargic. He would have trouble and difficulty breathing, and it was really like rattly, like a rattly breathing and a forced breathing, kind of like, like he was having to push the air out and then having trouble getting the air back in. And when it would get really scary, there were a couple of times where it was like, okay, we might need to take him into the hospital. But we would just give him some ASEA and he would perk right up within a few minutes. And, every time it got scary, we would just up the ASEA and do more ASEA. And we were able to keep him out of the hospital. And he is doing so good now. Not 100% yet. The things that he had going on will take a while to clear up completely. But I know that he stayed out of the hospital because I was able to do these other things with him. And when it got scary, we were able to just give him more and rub it on him and do a breathing treatment, anything that we could. And it perked him right up and helped him breathe better. And then he'd be able to fall asleep and rest. And I'm really grateful that I had it.
Thanks, Shauna. It was really scary. I was there some of the time helping, and it was so scary to watch him go through this. And we were in communication. I wanted her to be really clear that we were in communication with the doctor all the time. This doctor is so great to text message, to, we could be in communication with him any hour of the day. The doctor even went on vacation and was communicating with us while he was on vacation, because he knew how sick this baby was, and he had another doctor that we could go in and, you know, that Shauna could go in and see and talk to. But it was just an hourly time of taking care of this baby. So I want
to say something else about it, though. Hold on.
Good.
Because he was so sick, I wasn't sleeping. Like we couldn't lay him down at night because he wasn't able to breathe. And so we had to hold him on our chest and you know, sleep with him in an upright position. So my husband and I kind of took turns, but mostly it was, you know, I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't getting any sleep. And so I was really grateful for the ASEA for myself. And both of the things that he had was very contagious, and I did not get sick at all. My husband didn't get sick. A couple of my kids already had coughs, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, they had brought it home from school, and that's how he got sick in the first place. But my other daughter didn't get sick as well. We just kind of gave ASEA to everybody. And when there was one day, maybe 2 days, when I was like, oh no, I'm gonna succumb, I'm gonna get sick, I took the ASEA vitamins, and I took a little bit extra of those, and I noticed a difference. Like within an hour, I felt better. And you know, the next day when I started feeling down again, it was like, oh, I gotta remember to take those vitamins. They just helped me so much. So that's our whole story.
Well, thank you, because we appreciate you sharing something that happened that was just so real, that all of us, you know, experience at some time, whether it's our kids, our nieces and nephews, our grandchildren, whatever. This is so helpful for people to know that there's something that they really can have that will aid them in taking care of their whole family. So thank you. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else that you wanted to?
That's everything. I just really like it. I'm glad I have it.
It's more than just our first aid kit for our kids.
It's our life kit.
It's our life kit. That's what we're going to call it now, our life kit. It restores our lives.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for being on the Zoom with us tonight. This was so important for us to share with you. And if you have any questions about this, get with the person who sent you to this video. And if you're seeing it for the first time and this is something that you came upon through our website, then you can go to face.teamasea.com. That's face.teamasea.com and connect with us, and we will get you to the right person. Or you can go to loriannegarner.com or make a comment on this video. So thanks everybody for being here. Bye. Thank you, Shauna. Thanks, Channing.